Should I start making those faces like the other YouTubers do to put on my thumbnails in my videos? I don't know. So I was just sitting here actually, and I was going over one of the other videos that I made the other day, and I wanted to actually, I want to see if I want to play around with this. Actually, I need to learn this to do this on the channel anyway. Like, I'm not a professional at this at all. Like, I'm doing all this by myself, and I'm fitting it into other things inside of my life and inside of being in a family and all that stuff. So I wanted to see about piecing this video on top of another video, like editing, like, I guess. So this is stuff I told myself I was like blocking myself from before. I'm like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to get into that. And I like kind of knew that I was going to have to, because I have another video that I did previously months ago, that I want to post to this channel now, because it's an important thing that I think that people need to know. If they're going to watch this channel, they should really know about me. And so what I wanted to do was actually talk about the purpose of the channel, because the video that I originally wanted to talk about in that, I don't think I did the greatest job. I mean, the video had some real good things in it and some gold to dig into. So I'm going to post it, but I wanted to do this short little clip to kind of say a little more about the purpose of this channel. So first of all, I don't know how short this video is going to be actually, but it is what it is. So I was working with somebody at one point in time, not like a friend of mine or anything like that, like paid services, paid, coach, mentor. I did several of those throughout the years here. She was actually a doctor, like, at the time, but now what's cool, I kind of like about her, is that she's realized a lot about the current system and kind of medical model, and conventional medicine is basically dropping her doctor title because, she doesn't want to have anything to do with that. It's not a true story. So I respect her for that. And I worked with her, and she told me, one of the main things that she told me when I did my thing with her was, she asked me these questions about how I have fun and how I'm creative. And I didn't have answers for that. I didn't have answers to this question. So she said, you need to find the answers to these questions. And I'm finding it in this channel. Like, I'm finding, I'm able to be creative in making these videos. I'm able to express myself in these videos. And also, like, I have to do work behind the scenes as far as making the thumbnails and describing. And that brings me to another point. As you're following this channel, interact. I mean, that'll really help me. As I said in the other video, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. That'll do a lot of good if you like the message I'm bringing. And also, I'm kind of losing my train of thought of what I was talking about before I said that. I was talking about, go down below. There's a description. There'll be a description in the video. And sometimes I try to do a pretty thorough job of listing what's going to be in the video. And there can be little golden nuggets down there as well. So don't miss out on that. I think you just have to go down below the video and click more. I think I do it all the time on other people's videos that I like. Plus, there'll be so much more coming to this channel too. I'll be adding in probably at some point. But so that's what this channel is, man. It's fun. This channel will add fun to my life. It'll add creativity to my life. I need to practice that more. And as I go along making this, I need to learn and practice blocking out the noise of that. The small guy that has played such a large role in my life up to this point, just switching that off, not listening to the noise. I mean, if there's comments and people that come onto the channel that aren't so nice, that are bashing me or something, like, I invite it. Go ahead. Please let me practice. That would be a gift to me. So, I have a list written down here in front of me. So if I'm looking down, that's why, because the last time I didn't do such a good job. So I'm like, well, I don't want to plan for this channel, but I think maybe I'm going to have to do a little bit of planning. So that was like, it is what it is, right? So that'll kind of bring me to another point of, I'm going to say things and stuff in these videos, and each day hopefully I'm growing and evolving. So I'm going to say things in these videos one day that I'm like, that didn't work out so well. And that's totally fine. You know what I mean? Like, I have to really learn how to accept, move forward, accept that that's okay. I had a real problem with that. That would be the the perfectionist. And I think there's a lot of people I know from being I was a health coach previously in my life. And I know that that's a big, big issue with people, the perfectionism. But anyway, so let me get to the rest of the stuff that I wanted to share about the purpose of the channel. So it's also a way for me personally, self-reflection. I can go back here and it's self-inquiry. I can go back and I can see, I watch these videos back and I make the description and I put in the show notes so that you know what the heck I'm talking about, or there's this, that, and there in the video. And, that I got golden nuggets back out of what I said when I was watching my video back. It helps me grow. So if it's helping me grow, it's going to help other people grow. So that's another one. And one I always talk about is unconditional love. I'm just going to share I think that's what we are at our truest nature, or the deepest part of us, our soul, is this unconditional love. So I want to share that as much as I can here. And also breaking out. I wrote down breaking out of the small self, the ego, the limiting beliefs. They're huge, right? So then the next thing I wrote down was reduction of fear, because I don't think we ever fully escape fear. I don't think we'll be here when that's the case. That's just my thought right now. I think that you just handle fear in a different way, right? Instead of saying no and not showing up, you're going to say yes, and you're going to be courageous and get through it. This is for people that want to be free. The next thing I had written down was freedom. I mean, freedom from old ideas and belief. This kind of the old self. This is kind of tying back to the breaking out of the small self and the ego and the limiting beliefs. That's freedom. So, and then it's for people that are feeling stuck, because, as someone that was very stuck and went through some very dark times, I have some ideas and some things on how to get out of that and what to do. So I want to bring that. I want to help people. And, if you're feeling stuck, I wrote down addiction. Addiction is part of my story. I think we're all addicted to a certain extent. And I mentioned this in the video as well, that I'll be kind of connecting this to, that, everybody has a level of this in their life. There's no doubt. Mine was pretty severe at times, and I want to help people if they're in that severe state, even if you're not in the severe state, and you just want to even break out of the little or less severe addictions that you have. This channel can be for you. And then, the most important piece of this, I think, they're all freaking important, being love over fear, and like, just awareness, higher consciousness, becoming more enlightened, all these things. But then it's like also to help you connect to that higher essence, that higher self, that Holy Spirit that is waiting for you to let go of all the old stories and the old self. So I'm going to connect this with another video, and I'm going to post that here shortly. And I realize that I stack a lot of videos and then I don't get them posted right away. So I don't know. I'm going to stop mentioning certain things, I think, because it's going to be confusing. But anyway, as always, I want to finish my videos with always pointing out that this is coming from a place of unconditional love. And I just hope that this all will help. And I'm actually pretty sure that it'll all help. So I'm out of here. Unconditional love, unconditional love, unconditional love. I was just sitting here admiring like how much better the lighting is when I hold my phone up this way than when I bring it down, kind of down here to where I can kind of walk comfortably and hold my phone. So it makes me think that I'd really almost like to really love getting one of those kind of video stick things that people have that do this kind of thing. So, I'll grow and evolve with this, but you know what? The most important thing is that I get going. So, and I have done stuff like this before. I did videos like this before. I created about 20 or so on another platform and stuff, and then I hit a wall. And, that's just part of my journey, part of this process, part of growing, part of the whole thing. So, I guess mainly just, just out. Like I said, I in the last video, I really love I wanted to get out and start walking more anyway, and being in nature more anyway. So this is a great way to do this, and I can free my mind and also hopefully help and inspire other people at the same time. So I had so many things yesterday. I made a video yesterday. I was, I had so many things. Things kept coming up through me, coming up through me. That I wanted to. I have a journal. I just write it down, and I'm like, one thing I don't really want to do is really plan much to talk about on here. I want it to just be kind of organic, really just whatever happens. But, it's also at the same time, I don't want to just ramble on and, whatever. I do want it to, I don't want to be like, everybody just wants to hear me talk a bunch or whatever. But I have to also not let that small voice come into me, like that small little ego part of Eric that, wants to downplay what I have to offer. And I've had some angels around me lately to really, really help me understand, really what I have to offer. And I have to believe in that, and just tons of stuff that's transpired that I won't get into all the details of that have really, really helped me. And so, yeah, I guess what I wanted to talk about a little bit, what's coming through me right now is a little bit like what I want to talk about on this channel, I guess. And it's really just based around spirituality, transformational progress. And I think that's really what I've come to in my own life to be real, is that's all we're here for. All the other stuff is kind of a distraction. And the system that's been put in place around us is really just, they love that. They feed off of that. Because if we're distracted and stressed and running around and working all the time and all that, and then we're spending our money, and the system is something that I may mention here and there, but to be real, I just want to let that go. I don't want to really focus my attention on that anymore. I've been letting it go in my life, because there was these past couple of years have really been massive. So for them to, they show their face, like as far as for what happened in 2020 and what's, I guess, still happening. I guess I don't know. I try not to even pay attention to it anymore. I gave up watching TV and the news and, all that kind of stuff years ago. I do watch some things, like, just to let go and laugh, because I've come to a place in my life where I feel like I can watch these things and understand some of the purpose in them. Like the shows you watch, like some of the shows I watched growing up, like Married with Children and, The Simpsons and, I don't even know. You can go down the list. There's so much stuff they put in those shows to program your mind, and we don't even notice it. Until you wake up, you won't even notice it. Like they want you to be average. They want you to be mediocre. They want you to water yourself down. And when I say they, I don't even know who I'm really talking about. Like, it's just, yeah, I won't even go there, because it doesn't matter, because when you disconnect from it, you're not giving it your energy anymore. And that's really what I've been focusing my life around. Getting back to what's real, getting back to nature, getting back to growing my own food. We got some chickens. We want to do, my family and I want to do more and more stuff that's going to bring us back to, just connection. So, and we have stuff in the pipeline we want to work on and all this stuff. And, we just step by step. That's all you can do. Like, you don't want to look at the whole staircase. You just want to go step by step. The more present you can stay, the better. So I wanted to just kind of make this video and kind of talk a little bit about like, you know, what the channel's about, I guess. And then whatever comes up, like I said, I'm not planning anything for these. And then, I don't know, maybe as I walk here, something will come up through me that I want to, you know, that there's some specific kind of idea that I had or something that came through me yesterday or here today that I could share that would help you or I feel that would inspire and help you. But mainly the channel is going to be that, you know, it's just personal growth stuff. It's really all that matters, because when you grow and you love yourself, the more you take time, it sounds selfish at first, or somebody could put a twist on it and say, oh, you spend so much time with yourself, that's selfish. No, it's selfless. Because when you have done when you take care of yourself, that's going to transpire into how you treat others. If you don't have it, this is good. I've talked about it. Here we go. Just came up. When you don't have it, you can't give it. So when I was a kid, when you're a little kid and your parents' egos are dominating their lives, it's not even authentic. It's not really even them. It's not the God mode. It's not their spirit or their soul running the show. It's this other entity, it's the little selves. You know, when they're caught up in all their crap, when they're caught up in all their addictions, or they're caught up, you know, in that kind of stuff, and people think they're not addicted, and everyone, I mean, it's in everyone, you know, it's just at different levels and severity. I mean, it's just everyone's different. I should have I actually have it over in my car. Maybe I'm walking towards my car now. Maybe I'll read this passage from this book I'm reading and share that with you. But that could get a little tricky here. And I didn't really I wanted these videos to kind of stay within 10 minutes. I don't want to talk forever, but, on each one. But yeah, so we learn then as kids, our egos learn to maneuver around all of that, maneuver around all of what the parents are bringing to the table. And they're conditioned, and they're programming and things that have happened to them and what their parents kind of, you know, did to them. There's a lot of healing that humanity needs. That's what I'm feeling and sensing a lot. And, you know, I've been doing a lot of that in my own life. I've been taking a lot of time out for it. And then what happens is I have a lot to share from it. So then back to the kid, he, you know, maneuvers around to you know, stay safe. Basically, it's all based around survival and safety. So, you know, and that gets carried on, and in this culture, there's no like rite of passage, or there's no transition from that, right? That's like gone now. I mean, in other cultures and other things, there was always this rite of passage where it was like, okay, you know, you've been, you know, whatever it is, I don't know, 14 or something, or whatever they did. It was like, you're not this kid anymore. Now you're transitioning into adulthood. We have a bunch of adult children walking around. There's no doubt about it. I've been guilty of it in my life. And if people get real with themselves and get open and honest, man, they're gonna find it. And so I'm glad that came through me. That's a little piece that could be helpful. Because I'm really into studying or paying attention to or learning from people that are really talking about that kind of stuff, talking about how the ego rules our lives. And it's this little person in us, this little part of us that can become massive and run the show, which I've found out, man. I'm like, when I start waking up to this, I'm like, wow, this is crazy. I mean, years of actually like learning about this, but until you put it into practice in your life and your daily living, it's like, so I don't particularly know who's going to be attracted to this channel and listen and be like, yeah, I need this. This is really good. Because I mean, I didn't know, like when I was going through it, I listened to all kinds of this person for a while, or that person for a while, or this or that, or did this, or spent the money on this and whatever. And I had no idea, you know, what I did know is the system didn't have the answers for me. I did know that. Meaning, you know, doctors and And, it's all part of the same system. The same system is the medications and the mental, they try to get, the mental medications and such. I mean, it's just kind of a shit show, really, how we're handling this. So it's just been years and centuries. This has been a long time, period. This stuff's been going on. So I don't know if I did a great job of explaining exactly what I want to bring to this channel or how I want to do it. But this is just like, since I hit the barrier the last time I did this, that was a few months ago or something like that, I think. This is the second video I'm making. So like, I want this to be, something that I can use and look back on also to see my own growth, to see, because there's still like, I've learned a lot, but there's still so much still so much to learn. And my ego still tries to run the show sometimes. And when that happens now, I'm getting these like surefire signs physically, and like, I've had these, I'll just share this before I end. I mean, it's gotten really dark in my life. I've really, I've been it's been so dark in my life that I didn't want to be here anymore. And if I can turn that around, ooh, I almost tripped on my face here. If I can turn that around and see the light after all the darkness, and I believe all this darkness is given, I think that comes through our prayers, that comes through the work. If we do the work, if we sit with ourselves, right? Like if you practice what's called meditation, you could say that's just a practice of sitting with yourself, distraction-free, learning about yourself. I mean, whatever name you want to put on it, just like God, the universe. Spirit, soul, creator, universal intelligence. I mean, it doesn't matter what name please don't get caught up on the name and hear God and be like, oh, this guy's he's a Jesus pusher, or he's pushing, I had those same things flare up for me. That's your ego. Because if you go down that road, the ego dies, or the ego doesn't die, the ego just gets put into its place. And the real you, the true you inside, starts to shine. And it gets really scared and doesn't want to lose its control. And I've had like extreme physical sensations, and like I'm still dealing with stuff. So I want to share this openly and share what I've found out and what has worked for me, because I know there's somebody out there, or many people out there, that are going to need to hear this message, because there's a lot of people playing this message out there too. Like, and when you start to look for it, when you start to go for it, and you start to open up to it, and you start to have these daily practices that you work on, sitting with yourself, distraction free and stuff like that, the light's going to start coming through the cracks. And then it's going to be funny how these things start to show up for you. And funny how the synchronicity, stuff starts syncing up. And, wow, that was really what I needed to see and hear. And it's just everything in this world. I think everything is working exactly the way it's supposed to be working. Even when it's the shittiest time of your life and you can't see it, and the blinds are closed and you're crumpled up, you're curled up in the bed, dark and all that. It's all happening for a reason. It's all because you need it to happen. And as long as you don't let that thing take completely over and give up, there's always hope. And just never give up. That's all. And that'll be a freaking great place to stop here today. So thanks for listening. I mean, I feel free when I do this. So I love sharing. I love digging. I love learning. And I just want to share it. And I want to be challenged, and I want to be, I've had even when things are flowing good, I still have my ego flare up sometimes. And it's like, oh, there you are. Yep, there you are. So anyway, I hope this was helpful. I know it was for me. And I'm going to finish the rest of my walk and might read a little bit of a book or something. And then, yeah, that's it. I'll be back for another video the next time. Thanks for listening.